Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. The theme for this webinar that we're hosting today is Simplify, Connect, and Thrive. We thought it an apt topic to speak about, given the fact that we really specialize in communication, especially in schools, and we want to ensure that it's simple and that schools can thrive by using the products that we have. This session is also informative and meant to be informative. That's why we got some professionals from the UK to help us today. Stuart and Steve from the Wisdom Partnership and Which MIS are also on the call today to give us a bit of insight regarding the climate and what's happening in schools in the UK. So I'm going to give over to them to start. Let me just backtrack a little bit and just mention my name is Donata and I am the head of brand at D6. So I'll be hosting you today and taking you through it. But for starters, we'll have Steve and Stuart just give us a little bit of information on what is happening in the UK.
Thank you, Donata. I'm Stuart. I'm joined by Steve. We run an organisation called the Wisdom Partnership, which specialises in helping organisations in the world of technology, particularly education and ed tech technology. We also publish a site called Which MIS. Thank you. So we decided to put Which MIS together because both Steve and I have been in this industry for a long time and kind of understand what's going on. But we also appreciate that most schools don't. In the world of MIS, most schools believe in the UK, there's only a handful. Actually, there's 21, and there's some new entrants as well, including organisations like D6. What we try to do is publish a lot of online information about all the MIS providers, together with short bios, together with contact details. One thing we don't do is we don't recommend. We are fiercely independent and absolutely agnostic. Our aim and ambition is to make sure that schools find the right management and communication systems for them. So in recent months, actually we posted a new post yesterday, but most new systems are now online. What happens when they go down? We also publish a whole list of events. There's lots of events happening in the UK. We publish a lot of them, and basically, we ask the MIS providers to tell us what events they're going to be at. We put those in a calendar order and we publish them. So if you're interested in any of these, you can just have a quick look, decide which events you think might be of interest, where they are, when they are. We also publish a lot of industry-wide news. There's always a lot going on. And then we publish individual items, like the last one we did was telephony and MIS integration. There's a lot of information around. If we move on, thank you. What we wanted to do is provide a list of the MIS providers. So most people in the UK are aware of SIMS and have been using SIMS for years. The Arbor, which is owned by the Key Group, is probably one of the main providers now, and Bromcom. So if you went to a school or a multi-academy trust or an independent school and said, who are the main providers? They're probably going to say SIMS, Arbor and Bromcom. What they miss out are a lot of the others. And this isn't all of them, it's just some of them. But you've got a lot of companies that have been around for a long time, like Integris. Many of you will know of RM, that used to be research machines. So Integris and ScholarPack are MISs in their own right. They were acquired about a year and a bit ago by Arbor. And now Arbor has just announced end of life of both of those products and recommending that all Integris and ScholarPack schools move to Arbor. And I think Arbor goes end of life in January or February.
Integris and ScholarPack go end of life in February and move to Arbor.
Thank you. And then you've got companies like Go for Schools, been around for ages, but just launched their own full MIS. Satchel, many of you will be aware of a company called Show My Homework, now called Satchel. They launched their MIS a year and a half ago. Iris have been acquiring. Compass is an Australian product that's been in the UK for 5 or 6 years. And then there are others as well. Juniper are launching theirs. AIMS or ET AIMS have theirs. And they're all focused on kind of state-based, whether that's academies, multi-academy trusts, or grant-maintained school, education institutions. And then you've got those in the far box on the right. And these are those that specialize in the independent sector. So whilst all schools are very similar, the independent sector has different requirements, particularly things like alumni, fees billing. It has kind of marketing, has a very different admissions system as well. So Scholarbase, Education Horizons, ISAMS, Veracross and Hub have all been around for a long time. Veracross is an American organization that has schools in 30 odd countries, but none in the UK. Well, didn't have any in the UK until much earlier this year. I think it's got 4 or 5 now, but growing, and they've built a team in the UK. And then on top of that, you've got the companies like D6 that have been looking at the UK thinking, actually, we have something to offer. And I'll let Donata and my colleagues at D6 speak about their products and their services. But what I want to do is move to the churn in the market. Steve, do you want to do this bit?
Yeah, by all means. Over the last 5 to 10 years, there's been an enormous change in the UK MIS market. As Stuart alluded to earlier, SIMS has been around. They were the very first MIS, School Management Information System, in the UK some 42 years ago. And because they were first, they took over a huge piece of the market share. At one stage, they had nearly 90% of the UK market. Nearly 90% of schools in the UK were using SIMS. But over the last 5 years, their percentage of the market share has dropped massively. So whereas before they had best part of 20,000 schools in the UK, as you can see from this slide, they're now down to just over 8,000. And the key group, which is Arbor plus Scholarpack and Integris, have really grown massively, as have Bromcom. CMIS, that you can see on there, has nearly 2,500 schools, but they are all in Scotland. CMIS is a Scottish MIS, and they provide the MIS for all of the schools, in all the state-maintained schools, that is, in Scotland. So their numbers will not change very much at all. They don't operate outside of Scotland, and none of the other MISs have a look in the state schools in Scotland. But the churn has been growing and growing. It's caused by many different things. As you'll be aware, most of the MIS now, most of the technology in schools now is cloud-based. SIMS are not cloud-based yet. They started way back in 2008 when they were going to go cloud-based. That didn't work. They spent a lot of money over the years developing a cloud-based system, but it never took off, and they never launched it. They were acquired by a venture capitalist group about 4 years ago now, and they spent a year assessing what they'd been doing on the cloud-based system and decided it wasn't fit for purpose and it wasn't fit to go to market. So they scrapped the whole thing, and they've spent a lot of money now, around about £40 million so far, building a brand new cloud-based system. But the way they've decided to do it, because they had lost so many schools to the cloud-based systems that were out there, they're trying to do it piece by piece, so little modules at a time that are coming cloud-based, so that schools can carry on using the SIMS that they know and gradually move across to the cloud-based system. But it keeps being delayed. So whereas it should have all been out there by now, they're now talking about the end of 2026 before it's finished. And the rumor control is it's more likely to be early 2027. So it means that they're far behind the groups of people who are well established. And at the same time, they've changed the way they operate. So 4 years ago, they suddenly changed everything and said, I'm sorry, you're all now going on to a 3-year contract instead of a 1-year contract in order to keep people from moving. They've caused problems with the support teams, the commercial support teams that support them, giving them very difficult contracts. And lots of these things have upset the market. And so schools continually are changing. We're currently working with over 40 schools who will be changing by March away from SIMS to other systems. So this is going to carry on, and it will be interesting once we get these dates, the data from the 3 times a year census that the UK does for all their schools. And we're expecting in the November census to see another big drop in the SIMS figures and increases for the Key Group and Bromcom and some of the other smaller ones as well. Back to you, Stuart.
Thank you. So just to underline what Steve was saying, for years in the UK, SIMS was number one by a long way. In the early 2000s, they had 87% market share. That's now gone down to about 31%. And Arbor, when you put ScholarPack and Integris together, is the lead provider in the UK now with around 42%. Remember, these figures are from the spring census. So as Steve said, they will change as well in the autumn. And I know we're in the autumn now, we're not expected to get updated figures probably until middle of next month. And we'll publish those as soon as we get them. What is interesting, though, as Steve said, is the number of schools. We also have to appreciate that when we look at the UK, these figures are really just based on English state-funded schools. They don't include the kind of 4,000 independent schools that we have in the UK, nor do they include the 7,000 British international schools, which kind of would fall into the independent category. For these numbers, we have included schools in Scotland, as Steve mentioned with SEMIS, and in Northern Ireland, which Bromcom won a year ago, 2 years ago now, which means Bromcom have about 5,000 schools as opposed to the Key Group's 10, 11,000 schools, and SIMS with just over 8,000. So this is ever changing. The next big changes to the market, we're starting to see movement in Wales. Wales has 22 local authorities, and about 7 of those have awarded outside SIMS for generations. All of Wales was SIMS and SIMS only. Now a number of authorities have broken away. 2 or 3 have gone to Arbor. I think 4 or 5 have gone to Bromcom. And we're expecting to see the rest follow suit over the next couple of years. The biggest opportunity has got to be Scotland. Steve mentioned SEMIS in Scotland, and it has 100% coverage of all state schools. There's only about 75 independent schools in Scotland. So kind of 2,500 schools. SEMIS has been going a long time. It's owned by the Scottish authorities. The problem is it hasn't moved, regardless of various projects, hasn't moved the MIS world forward, and the rest of the country has. So we're starting to see Scottish authorities, and in Scotland, the authorities procure, not the individual schools. We're starting to see Scottish authorities investigate the market. This is a long-term project, because if they want to move away from SEMIS, they have to give 2 years' notice. But there is light at the end of the tunnel for Scottish schools getting a more up-to-date MIS. So generally, what is going on? We've been talking about the churn in the market, more churn than ever before. We see that continuing. That is not only because of Scotland, because of Wales, but also because more and more UK or English schools and multi-academy trusts are wanting to move away from SIMS to a more online, more integrated, more user-friendly MIS. So there are more new entrants than ever before, both international and homegrown. And we see a lot of these. We've been aware of D6's activity for some time. And we know D6 are strong in other countries. We know that they have sites on the UK market as well. I think the issue that any new provider has is it's a really, really tough market to break. If we use an example of, let's use Compass as an example. Compass is a well-established Australian organisation that wants to move to the UK a number of years ago. They decided to set up base in Ireland, in Southern Ireland. And over the last 7 or 8 years, they've now got over 50% of the Southern Irish secondary sector. They've been in the UK for 6 years. but it's anybody. They've done really well. They've got over 200 schools now, but 200 schools in 6 years is really going for it. Tough market. The pain of change, and as Steve said, we're working with a number of organisations that are changing. The pain of change is considerable. Schools don't change MIS lightly. It's not easy. It's not straightforward. And for a lot of schools, it's scary. That's what we're helping schools manage at the moment. So new entrants have a tough job, but as long as they've got the ability to handhold schools through the process, then it can be done. There's an ever-changing march in new technologies. Yeah, obviously, everybody, apart from SIMS, is cloud-based. SIMS will be cloud-based. I think Steve's optimistic view that all of SIMS Next Gen will be available by the early 27 is optimistic. I'm hearing separate rumours that it could be towards the end of 27. And that has issues as well. SIMS are also insisting on 3-year licensing to make sure their customers remain while they go through this transition. That's not working necessarily, and it's frustrating a lot of schools. They can see the sort of technologies, the sort of user interface, the sort of functionality that new generation MIS have, and they wish they could have access to the same. So we talk about cloud computing. As I said, our last post on which MIS was about cloud reliability. Everybody talks about kind of 99% uptime or 5 nines. 5 nines is unachievable. It means the system will be down for like a few minutes a year. That doesn't happen. Systems do go down occasionally, but there again, if you've got your own server in school, that's probably likely to be offline more than any cloud-based computing system. The biggest move and the biggest change, and this is one that hasn't really had huge effect yet, is AI. AI is really starting to gather momentum, and the power of AI, Steve and I have seen in whether it's Bromcom, whether it's Arbor. Actually, we've seen a little bit of the kind of D6 AI tools that are kind of coming at us at a rate of knots, are amazing. When schools appreciate the power of AI and the time and the money it can save in schools, they are all blown away. I would argue that the vast majority of schools aren't using AI yet properly. One of the examples, and I was talking to a school yesterday about this, was and I'm going to talk about both Bromcom and Arbor that are kind of championing AI as a built-in core function. So they both have the ability to ask AI something. And let's imagine you're a school and you're a head teacher or a senior leader, and you want to know what the attendance figures are like today. So in the UK now, it's 20 past 10 in the morning. School attendance and registration typically kind of opens at 8:45, and by 9:15, 9:30, it's all over, allowing for late entrance and stuff. Head teachers and senior leaders will often ask the school office, can I please have a report on attendance today? And I'd like that split down by boys and girls. I want it by pupil premium and special needs as well. Can you please put that together? And I need it for a meeting in half an hour. Now, most of these systems, the schools can run that. It's a fairly standard report. But in this, and it will probably take somebody in the office an hour, perhaps half an hour if they're really switched on to pull that together. With AI, the senior leader doesn't have to ask anybody other than ask the MIS. Ask the MIS for this information. And it's not just type it in, because that's tricky. When we say ask, literally by voice, can I please have a report showing attendance this morning for ... And it will take a couple of moments. That saves the school office, the administrators, ages, literally kind of an hour a week. But then it can go further because AI is intelligent, and both Bromcom and Arbor in this instance have thousands of schools, so they can run comparators. So show me all this information about attendance, but I also want to see what attendance is like in other Arbor or Bromcom schools in my area, and show me that now. Oh, and incidentally, can I please have that nationally? Yes, and it can do all of those things. You can then start to generate some amazing reports. And this report writing, report generating takes hours and a lot of experience in a traditional MIS system. With an AI-based system, it doesn't need to. One of the reasons we spoke previously about using AI, particularly with parental engagement, is the ability for AI to understand an incoming telephone call and update a student record. So mum or dad phone the school and say, really sorry, Steve won't be in today until about 10 o'clock, he's got a dental appointment. Rather than somebody in the school listening to the message and then logging onto the MIS and then updating it, the AI tool does that automatically. It recognizes Steve because it knows his phone number and probably email address. It recognizes his son in school, and it will update and alert the teachers. Removing, again, even on one call, that might be 10 or 15 minutes. It does all of that for you. And that's just a fraction of what AI can do today. Imagine what it will do tomorrow. And then we move on to more demand for data analytics. So AI analytics is crucial. Analytics is crucial. And often on analytical platforms get over complex and people start to look at all these wonderful charts and graphs and vectors and go, don't understand it. I just want to know what it was like today, what it's like tomorrow, what it was like last week. All of these things are available in all the latest platforms, whether AI or standard reports. And then finally, the whole one-stop shop approach. So most schools use a combination of products. And traditionally, if you're a SIM school or any other MIS, you used a separate parental payment, a parental engagement, a safeguarding, a timetabling. This goes on. There's about 30 odd different bolt-ons. Most new MISs, in fact, the two advanced ones, the Bromcom and Arbors of the world, offer a complete one-stop shop. They build all of this functionality in. Doesn't mean it's right, because they also have full integration and interoperability. So if you're using a safeguarding tool that you're very happy with and all your staff are happy with, and it contains a lot of really sensitive data, you might not want to consider changing that. That's fine. Carry on using it, whatever it is, will integrate. But if you want to use a parents' evening booking tool, then having one built in that is fully integrated, that is one of the same system, might make sense. It also saves a lot of money doing that. So the one-stop shop approach is the way forward, but I would argue AI with full data analytics, an easy to use interface, and a one-stop shop is kind of, I suppose it is the gold standard now for upcoming MISs. Steve, do you want to add anything? Sorry, that was a long diatribe. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think we've covered everything. We're happy to take some questions if anybody's got questions, but it may well be that Donata would want to continue with the D6 stuff and get to questions at the end.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it, and very insightful information that you've given through to us. If anybody would like to contact the Wisdom Partnership Group, you are welcome to use this information. We'll also share it afterwards in an email if you've registered for this webinar. All right. Next, I'd like to introduce Chantal Engelbrecht. She is an account manager at D6, and she'll be speaking to you a little bit about our communication part of our system. So D6 does school management and school communication. These can be used together or separately, and she's just going to give us a little bit of an overview of how it works and why this is quite a lovely solution to have in one school. In the meantime, I think I will then quickly move over to something that I'd like to share with the audience today. So as I mentioned, we have school communication, but we also have our integrated school management system. So on the school communication front, schools receive an app, a portal where they can actually manage the communication, and then also web and desktop applications. Here you can see this is our school management system, and from here you can manage basically anything that your school needs, such as administration, finance, and curriculum. We really try to work with the different countries that we are in and to make sure that we can accommodate the different needs that they have. So we're always learning and open to learning, and that's what's wonderful about technology is it is ever evolving and never stagnant. To Steve's points regarding the AI and how schools can use it, we are actually working on something ourselves, which I'll quickly share before I give back over to Chantal as she has reconnected. So here we are working on something very exciting. Here, for example, using our school management system and the data that's in there, one could ask this dashboard, for example, a few different questions regarding maybe the grades, attendance, as you can see over here, and it can provide information in a chart for you so that you can then have a better overview and understanding about what is going on in your school. So over here, as you can see, we have daily absence trends in February. It doesn't only stop there. As I mentioned, our system is comprised of an administration, curriculum, and finance system. So insights from all of those different modules would be available. And the same for our communication module. There we can also see, who's received communication, who hasn't. And Chantal will touch on that a little bit further. So that is our AI Assist within our school management platform. And then lastly, I would like to just mention our internal AI bot, for lack of a better word. It's actually called Parent Assist within our app. And this is what most people would know as a bot that actually delivers information based on what's been inputted. So I'm going to just show you a little prototype over here of what we're working on. So here we can see we're having a conversation. I'm not Khat, but he did the video for me. So here he's asking a few different questions that have been uploaded into the community information. And the bot can basically then show you and refer you to specific areas or messages in the app where this communication has taken place. So there we can see I'm asking about an event, and it will actually provide me with the information and show me where I can go find it. So that's just a little taste or a teaser of what is to come with D6. We are very excited about it, and we can't wait to share the final and complete products with the rest of the world. Okay, now I'll give over to Chantal.
Thank you so much, Donata, and thank you for all those information. We've just seen the landscape and environment of high market churn, new technologies like cloud and AI, and increasing demand for sophisticated data analytics. This is the context that drives our mission. We are the bridge from the problem to the solution. The fundamental challenge we see in the UK is not a lack of systems, but a lack of cohesion and a lack of focus on the parent and learner experience. Our goal at D6 is to move beyond simply managing data. We are focused on transforming schools by creating a connected, engaging, and efficient ecosystem where school leaders and staff can thrive. The transformation begins by simplifying the most chaotic aspect of school life: communication and stakeholder engagement. Let's look at who we are and the experience we bring to this challenge. At D6, our commitment is simple: helping schools to be their best. This commitment isn't new. It's built on years of experience serving thousands of satisfied clients. Our history is marked by innovation. We were a pioneering force in South Africa. That history of being a first mover means we understand how to innovate responsibly and at scale. We don't just follow industry standards. We've helped set the benchmark for innovation. We bring the same pioneering mindset to the UK market. This is more than just a software sale. It's a partnership rooted in a track record of serving the education community. So what sets the D6 solution apart? Why are we confident in tackling the unique needs of the UK? It comes down to 4 critical pillars. Firstly, mobility and flexibility. Our solutions are genuinely cloud-based, meaning teachers and staff can work from anywhere. This is essential in a modern, flexible school environment. Secondly, continuous improvement. Our products are continually optimized. We don't rest on our updates. We ensure the platform evolves with your needs, especially as demands for data analytics and AI increase. Thirdly, unrivaled support. Our support model is a huge differentiator. We ensure you are never alone. We are partners from deployment through daily use. Finally, trust and scale. We are trusted by over 2,500 schools globally and relied on by over 3 million parents. That scale demonstrates the robustness and reliability of our platform. As school leaders and staff, you are critically in keeping parents informed and engaged. But we know this is a daily battle. We understand the chaos. 4 key challenges we consistently hear: the management of outstanding documents, reply slips, and essential information is a time sink and a physical paper chase. The high costs of printer maintenance, toner, and paper eats into budgets that should be spent on education. The chaos in managing various instant messaging channels leads to lost messages and fragmented data. And critically, the inaccuracies in contact information create communication failure when it matters most, like in an emergency. These challenges don't just create inconvenience, they create barriers to effective parent engagement. We can and must do better. The solution to that chaos is simplicity and centralization. With these 6, schools have one designated place to communicate from. This is the core of our solution. This single platform approach allows you to expand your reach, utilize one platform to send SMS, email, and in-app communications. You meet the parents where they are every time. Target the right people. Communicate to specific groups. No more mass emails that aren't relevant to anyone. Keep parents engaged. Create rich content like messages, announcements, surveys, polls, and calendar events. This moves communication from passive reading to active involvement and inform in real time. Post urgent announcements like cancellations of extracurricular activities while on the go. Reliability and speed are paramount. This empowers all members involved and in a learner's success, ensuring your entire community feels supported and involved. We move from functional communication to engaging communication. Think of this as the sizzle that keeps parents coming back to the platform. You can enrich your communication with photos, videos, calendar events, slips, and surveys. This multimedia approach dramatically increases your open rates and parental action. We also give you tools to manage the importance and reach of your messages. You can mark messages as important to ensure they receive the urgency they deserve. You can send relevant information to relevant groups, which builds trust by reducing noise. And yes, you can even use AI to make your messages more elaborate and exciting. This is where modern technology saves staff time and make communication instantly more professional and polished. As we introduce all these communication features, the priority remains security and simplicity for the parent. The D6 platform acts as a secure bridge. D6 for schools connect the parents to all the different aspects of their child's school: academic, cultural, sports, and financial. Crucially, all of this happens in a secure environment. Parents only see information relevant to their child. and the platform adheres to all necessary data protection requirements, giving school leaders complete peace of mind. The D6 communicator is designed to eliminate fragmented messaging by being a multi-platform communication system. This means the school can send a single message that is delivered via the D6 app, email, or SMS, ensuring every parent receives the information regardless of their connectivity or preferred method. This allows the school to set up targeted groups, just like common messaging apps, but with a significant difference. No personal details like teacher or parent phone numbers are ever shared. For example, you can easily create a group for the under 11 rugby team or the senior choir and send targeted, relevant messages only to those specific parents. This security and organization is key. Teachers or sport coaches don't need to save countless parent numbers on their personal phones. If they have access to send messages to a group, all the necessary information is securely managed within the system. This functionality supports communication on the go. Imagine it's a rainy Saturday and sports are cancelled. A coach can easily pull up the app and instantly inform all relevant sport groups, making it exceptionally easy to keep parents informed without delay. Moving from communication to accountability, what gets measured gets managed. This feature provides school leaders with data analytics on their communication strategy. You can see who has opened which message, which groups are engaged, and which parents has viewed or not viewed an urgent document. This moves communication from a hope and pray model to a data-driven model. This data is essential for compliance and ensuring equitable communication reach across your entire parent body. Beyond simple messaging, the parent portal is a single window into the learner's journey. This is where parents can access deeper, individualized data. Think of it as their secure academic and administrative hub. Our communicator integrates with our MIS system. The parent portal acts as a single consolidated source of truth. Academics information from the curriculum model is pulled through to show the child's academic marks per year and per term. As a parent myself, I truly appreciate this. Parents can view their child's marks at any time, helping them to know which areas to focus on or should their child be struggling. Attendance, discipline, information from the admin module regarding attendance and disciplines also pulled through. This means parents are notified on the day, helping them stay informed and quickly to pick up should a child be skipping school without their knowledge. Parents can also easily upload a sick certificate to the school via the app. And finances, lastly, under finance section, parents can view any outstanding school fees or payments and make instant payments through the app, receiving an immediate receipt. This integrated system ensures that communication is not just frequent, but also relevant and personalized, which is what the modern parent expect. And then one of our most powerful differentiators is that we also offer white label applications. A white label app is your school community app powered by D6. It's not just the logo change. It's a fully customized mobile application that is branded exclusively to you. So why choose a white label? The benefits are tangible and strategic. It allows you to elevate your school presence and brand identity. You control the digital experience. It ensures enhancing communication by having a dedicated professional channel that parents recognize instantly. You gain reliability knowing the app is backed by our proven technology and infrastructure. It powerfully drives community engagement by centralizing all school activity under your own brand. Despite the custom branding, you benefit from fast deployment because the underlying engine is ready to go. And crucially, you receive full support and updates from D6 without the burden of managing the technology yourself. This option provides the best of both worlds: custom branding with enterprise-level technology and support. Thank you for taking the time to understand how D6 is driving the future of education. We believe the path forward is clear: simplify, communicate, and thrive. Our smart multi-platform solution is designed to eliminate your communication burdens, so you can do just that. Simplify your daily chaos, communicate with precision and engagement, thrive in an environment focused on excellence, and remember your presence matters in shaping the future for your school and your learners. We look forward to helping you achieve a new level of educational success. Thank you again for joining us. And if there's any questions, please feel free.
You're also welcome to email us at sales@d6.co.za, and then we can delve into a little bit more detail regarding the product. Also put you in touch with Stuart if need be, or Steve, if you'd like to have a discussion with them. I think we'll just quickly post that email address in there. And then if there are no further questions, we can then end the webinar. We really appreciate you joining us.